Thanks for joining us here on Indivisible. I'm your host, John Stubbins, and we are thrilled to have you with us, America. This is the show we put God, family, and country first, and we will always tell you the truth because that's what matters. Real quick, I want to give a shout out. We've got our new coffee line up under the Pledge of Allegiance coffee line, which you can get at johnstubbins.com. Just go to johnstubbins.com right now. Every bag of coffee that you buy allows us to do our work in helping veterans and helping fight corruption, like with the Adam Schiff case that we're fighting right now, and news breaking on that as we speak, bringing it to you so that you can do something about it when you go out and vote for this election. It's extremely important, folks. And look, we've got to do something about it. Fraudulent voter fraud, bank fraud, mortgage fraud. These are all the things that he's involved with, and we've got to put a stop to it. So it's very important that you do your part and help us get that done. So we look forward to having you give us all that you can and getting it stopped. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson from North Carolina.
Here's to the overlooked, the overworked, the underappreciated. Here's to the fighters to preserve our freedom, our liberty, our rights, our faith. Here's to the workers, the farmers, the first responders, and those who serve so bravely in our military. Here's to Americans who proudly hold tight to our values: God, privacy, freedom of speech, life and liberty. Here's to the patriots who love this country and everything it stands for, who should never be canceled for believing in America and the blessings of liberty. Finally, there's a bank for you, Old Glory Bank, named after the flag that represents the fabric of this great country and the people of Old Glory Nation, the engine of America. Now you have a bank that values your values. Now you have a bank that stands with you, no matter where you stand. Old Glory Bank. We stand with you. Member FDIC.
Hunter Nation is the ultimate we the people in the conservation community, holding our elected employees accountable to the hunting, fishing, trapping, freedom lifestyle that has brought wildlife back to the healthiest and most thriving condition in our lifetime. HunterNation.org is the epicenter for freedom and wildlife conservation in America. I am Hunter Nation.
And we're back, folks. I want to bring on to the show my friend Mark Robinson. He is the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, and he is currently running for governor. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. It's good to be here.
Well, we are proud to have you, and we want to do everything we can to help you get over the finish line and get you elected down there. How's the race going?
Race is going fantastic. We've had some change of leadership in the campaign, and the campaign is newly invigorated, motivated, ready to move on and get a victory here in November.
Folks, make sure that you go to Mark Robinson 4NC. Again, that's Mark Robinson 4NC.com. That is his website. I've got it scrolling at the bottom so that you can write it down, put it into your phone so you don't forget. Make sure that you log into Mark's website, help his campaign, get out there and help him knock on doors, funding, everything that you can do. We're getting down to the last stretch here, and this is so important. We want to get Mark over the top. We've got to have him in office down there. Mark, what are you seeing on the ground? We're going to get into the flooding and the hurricane here in a minute, but what are you seeing on the ground right now as far as the actual race with your competition?
Well, the bottom line is we still have huge energy in this campaign, and we still have we have tons of support everywhere we go. Every event that we go to, it is packed full, standing room only. A lot of these places are running over with people. There are people outside of the venue waiting for us. I mean, just the energy is electric with our campaign right now. We continue to move forward, and these folks know that we definitely not only have a pathway to victory, but we have a likely victory. And so the campaign is going very well.
Well, that's good to hear. And by the way, I want to just give you a shout out. Even though I'm not from North Carolina, I've been spending a lot of time in North Carolina with a lot of your constituents and doing what I can down there when I can. They've got me spread pretty thin, Mark. I'm in all 50 states right now, and
Good.
I happen to run into you. Thank God, up in Milwaukee.
Yes.
We were at the NC delegates breakfast up there, but you know how it is when you're spread thin, and
Sure.
It makes it tough. But I want to show, because this is very important here. I want to show some of this footage. This is really important. What's going on here? Where are you? Is this Asheville?
No, I believe that was the first shot. We were at a plant there up in Western North Carolina that makes most of the IV bags for the country. And sadly, that the roadway was destroyed there. And that plant's going to be shut down for a while. But all of these shots that you're seeing now, these are all Western North Carolina shots where we visited people, visited sites, delivered goods, you name it. We've done so much up there over the last couple of weeks. The work has been incredible, not only out of my office, but the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, who we coordinated with, and with the people on the ground who were helping us.
Well, I want to thank you. I know that the people of North Carolina want to thank you for all that you did just to be there and to provide assistance. It means a lot, and people take that for granted sometimes, but it's a big deal. And kudos to you and your staff for getting out there on the ground and getting it done for the people of North Carolina.
Well, absolutely. To date, we've delivered around 5 million pounds of goods, water, and the essentials. We're trying to work as hard as we can right now to get those folks ready for winter. But we were bound and determined that we were not going to just sit around and wait for orders from the governor or anyone else. We knew our neighbors needed help, and we knew there were other neighbors that were willing to go and help them. And so we organized them as best we could, which turned out to be fantastic. And we moved ahead, and we were able to do some great work with these folks. And I'm telling everybody, I've always been proud to be a North Carolinian, but I am super proud through this because I saw North Carolinians coming through in a way that is absolutely incredible. Well,
you just did an amazing job. And like I said, people take it for granted, right? Especially in times of need, in times of catastrophe. I mean, I know they just had another hurricane, just a couple days ago. So, I mean, when's the next one going to come? It's like, anytime there's one right after another one, you worry about the damage that's already been inflicted and then compounding that problem times 10. You know what I mean?
Sure. That's why it's always important for our state to be ready. And unfortunately, that did not happen in this case. Our governor was not here when the storm hit. He was in New York City at a fundraiser, which I find absolutely inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
He should have energized the entire council of state and given each one of us duties, and we should have all worked together to try to bring some relief to these folks. But, when you don't have that proper leadership at the top, that's the type of things that happen. But that's not how we're going to govern. We're going to govern in a way that is efficient, and we're going to govern in a way where we put politics aside and do what we need to do for the people of North Carolina.
Well, I tell you, one of the things that I've always been impressed about you is the fact that with you, you're like me. Jesus comes first.
Yes.
Jesus comes first. And I noticed that in all of your speeches, whether it's at a Trump rally or whether it's Faith and Freedoms, you've had amazing speeches wherever you've gone. But again, for me, the fact that you put Jesus first, it means everything. It tells me where your heart is, and it tells me what kind of man you are. And I just want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you. And like I said, it's important to us to let people know where our strength comes from, where our help comes from, and who we really rely on for wisdom and knowledge. And that's why we acknowledge him every time we speak.
Well, just keep that part of it up, because with God, everything comes before him, and God's timing, as you know, is perfect. That's right. And
Absolutely.
it's never
Absolutely.
going to change.
That's right. That's right.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Mark Robinson. By now, you've all heard me talk about Mike and his great products. Well, guess what? Mike's now introduced his MyPillow My Slippers, which are fantastic. Great on my feet, soft as can be. I love them. Mike's taken over 2 years to develop these slippers. He's designed them to wear indoor or outdoor, all day, all night long. Made with MyPillow foam and impact gel to help prevent fatigue. Made with quality leather suede. For a limited time, Mike is offering 40% off his new My Slippers. The My Slippers are so comfortable, you're going to want to get them for the whole family. Go to mypillow.com and click on the radio listener square and use promo code INDIVISIBLE. You'll also get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets, the MyPillow mattress topper, and MyPillow towel sets. Or call 1-800-716-4639 and enter INDIVISIBLE as your promo code. Indivisible with John Stubbins is proud to support my friends Jim and Angela Holland and Set Apart Farms.
Faith-led and family-driven, we're doing things a better way for veterans and their families. For all the ways to get involved, go to setapartfarms.org.
And we are back with Mark Robinson. Mark, I had a quote from you. People should be able to run a business without reprisals. I love that, because it hits to the heart of the matter, doesn't it?
It does. It hits straight to the point about what we talk about in this campaign. And we've been laser focused on the issues in this campaign. And for me, the issue just simply boils down to what the governor actually does. We talk about our economy and our education system being two very important things. But when you look at the economy, the economy is built on 5 pillars: public safety, public education, healthcare, infrastructure, and housing. That should be important to the governor, because the governor is the person who appoints the people over those agencies. And when you're talking about those agencies, one of the things that I'm bound and determined to make sure of is that those state agencies and the people that work in those state agencies understand a simple premise. And I believe most of them already do believe this and know this and try to carry this out. It's just a simple premise that they don't work for the state of North Carolina. They actually work for the people of North Carolina. Another thing that we need to ensure inside those state agencies is this. We've seen a lot of this over time. State agencies being weaponized either for political or social reasons. We cannot allow that in this state. We've got a lot of building to do in this state. We've got a lot of growth that we want to experience in this state. And if we want business to come here and be successful, they have to know that our state agencies and their leadership, the leadership of their state agencies, is laser focused on ensuring that state agencies put up guardrails and not barriers. And that's one of the things that we are laser focused on doing in taking the governor's mansion.
2 quick questions for you. How do you feel about getting rid of the Department of Education, number one?
Well, it's not really a thing that would really matter to me. I'm at the state level. I don't really have a voice in that. That would be a question I think would be better suited for our federal delegation. I do feel, however, that the federal government should not be influencing how we educate our children here in the state. The state of North Carolina has enough talented people within the state and enough talented entities inside the state to educate our children, and undue pressure should not come from the federal government. The federal government's not really good sometimes at doing the things that our Constitution prescribes it to do.
Right.
And so I think they should stay out of the things that they have not been prescribed to do.
Well, the reason I asked that question, Mark, is because I'm sure you've been seeing it on these college campuses all over the country, that our kids are being indoctrinated at these colleges. And, we're giving them taxpayer money to fund indoctrinating kids. I can't fathom that. We're teaching our kids to hate America in these colleges. So why don't we stop funding these colleges? It's absurd. We've got people marching on these college campuses, wanting to destroy and burn America down, and yet lift up Palestine. It just makes no sense to me. And then we've got kids. It's like, what are they learning? What are they learning? I mean, what is the degree that they're getting, that's allowing them to go out into the workforce and be productive, more productive than, say, an electrician or a plumber or something that you can do with your hands that you can really make good money at, and you don't have to waste $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on a degree that's worthless. It just burns my blood.
Well, one of the things that I found in this whole thing, you mentioned a phrase, you said that they're teaching children to hate America. One of the things that I have found and one of the things that I've discovered is this. I look at people who come to this country from other nations, and they come here, and oftentimes they outpace the native people that live here, the people who have been here their entire lives. And then when you take a deep dive into that, you find something that is quite interesting. You find that these foreign-born people who were not born here, did not grow up in our system, by the time they get here, they know more about our system than many of the average citizens do. They have studied our system, how it works, and how they can work it. So when they get here, not only do they succeed at a high level, they love the country. And the thing that I'm finding is this, and the thing that I believe is this: America is like a supercomputer. Having a supercomputer would be great, but you have to have an instruction manual. You have to be taught how the computer works. If not, it's just a giant paperweight that's going to make you confused. That's what's happening to many of our young people right now. Our young people aren't taught about our Constitution. They aren't taught about our economy and how our economy actually works. And because we haven't taught them how to function inside of a constitutional republic, they're now rebelling against it. If we go back and teach them how to operate inside the constitutional republic, inside of capitalism, they'll love it again. We won't even have to tell them to love it. They'll love it organically. And that's what we got to start doing in education again.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was talking more about some of the bad actors that are coming across the border. As you know, we've got a huge border catastrophe that's been going on, for quite a while. And a lot of these people are coming across. They say that they hate the country that they're leaving, but they're waving the flag of the country that they're leaving, and they don't want to assimilate to America. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, that's a different ball of wax altogether. I've always said that if you're going to leave the country, your country of origin, and come to our nation, you should be coming here to be an American.
Yes.
Why would you want to change it into what you left? That proposition
exactly.
It doesn't seem to make any sense. But we see that a lot. But again, I think where that really comes into play is by the things that are being taught, the things that are being said, particularly by our mass media, and unfortunately, by a lot of our elected officials. A lot of our elected officials are bound and determined and not push the premise that if folks are going to come to this country, they should be coming here either to work for a while and return home, or if they're going to stay, they need to become American citizens. And yes, learn to speak English.
Amen. Amen to that. By the way, I love your stance on our Second Amendment rights and the fact that you're willing to stand up for that. Because, a lot of Americans, they think, and look, I work with Hunter Nation. I work with Ted Nugent and Keith Mark and those guys. Donald Trump Jr. joined our board of directors right before we went to Milwaukee, just a couple of days after his dad was shot at. And look, we've been going into these states, these battleground states, and flipping votes. We won the Louisiana governor's race with 62,000 new votes from hunters that did not vote in the last two elections. So we know it's working, and our database is full of 9 million hunters that aren't voting. So we're trying to get those people out there to vote. And same thing with Christians. We've got to get them out there to vote. So both of those demographics are important. But thank God that you have a no-nonsense stance when it comes to our Second Amendment and dealing with a tyrannical government.
Absolutely. We know why our Second Amendment was put in place, is to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic. And we want to make sure that remains strong. Whether it be the single mom who's walking home from her shift at the cafe, or whether it be the person living in rural America that may be in danger of some type of attack from some type of predator. Folks should always be able to be their first responders and have the ability to be able to protect themselves and have that right to bear arms.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, please keep talking about that, because it's not going away. And for people like you and I, it matters. And we just need to keep that message going. Also, on the Trump economy, energy independence, the everyday issues, kitchen table issues for most Americans, gas prices, grocery prices, clothing, whatever it is for our kids, for our families. We know where the prices were when President Trump was in office. I remember paying like $1.70 a gallon at the gas pump. I mean, look at where we are right now. It's absurd.
Yes. It's the bottom line. It goes right back to what I said. The number one issue in this race is policy. Policy is the number one issue. Why was our border secure when President Trump was in office? Why were our enemies standing down overseas? Why was gas $1.78 a gallon? Why were groceries affordable? Why was interest rates low? Why was crime on the trend going down? Because of the policies passed by the Trump administration and his allies. The same story is true right here where I am in North Carolina. In North Carolina, we went from being billions in debt to the federal government to having a $5 billion surplus, to being the number one business destination in the nation for 2 years and now number two now. Why did that happen? It happened because of the policies passed by conservative Republicans. This is what this race is about. Policies that work and policies that don't. Policies that will reverse fortune and cause things like our border to be wide open and gas prices to be through the roof and inflation right up there with them. And policies in our state that had us deeply in debt to the federal government. So people have to make the choice based not on personality or politics, but on policies that actually work.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement with you. And speaking of that, I know our mutual friend Dan Bishop is running for Attorney General down there. How's his race going? Do you know?
His race is going very well. He has a very leftist opponent in Jeff Jackson, and we really know that we really feel like Dan's going to pull that race out and be a great Attorney General. Yeah. That's the bottom line. We got to get out and vote for every single solitary Republican on the ballot, up and down, from president to dog catcher.
Listen, I know that obviously Fort Bragg's down there, right? North Carolina. It's Fort Bragg. How do you feel about our military readiness right now, more on the world stage? I know that's probably off topic as far as North Carolina goes, but yet it's not. It's, there's a lot of people that are concerned on the world stage with what's going on in the Middle East, us getting dragged into that. Obviously, what's happening with China and keeping our eyeball on them. It's really kind of an off balance time, and our numbers are down in the military. I'm a veteran. I served in the military, and my family on both sides has served in every branch. So, we're a family that believes in serving, and we have. But right now, those numbers are down. I mean, both of my grandfathers served in World War II, and we're not seeing that patriotism on that level right now. Maybe it has a lot to do with, because of who the commander-in-chief is or is not.
It's all due to the commander-in-chief. When you have a bad commander-in-chief, you're going to have an army that's in disarray because he's going to put unqualified people at the helm, and he's put unqualified people at the helm. All you have to do is look at the debacle in Afghanistan, the terrible withdrawal from Afghanistan. It points you right in the direction of why our military is in the shape that it's in right now. It's in the shape that it's in because of poor leadership at the very top, and it starts with President Biden. Here in North Carolina, we had the same situation. A major storm about to hit North Carolina, and our governor wasn't in town, and he only responded by allowing 179 of our great men and women of the National Guard to be deployed. 179. Florida sent 1,700. Georgia sent 1,500. Right. He had 179 on the ground. It goes back to leadership. When you have poor leadership at the helm, you have poor results on the ground.
That's just inexcusable, Mark. I mean, that is inexcusable, and he needs to be held accountable. And the people of North Carolina, you need to hold him accountable, because he hasn't done jack. He has not done jack for the state of North Carolina. And I'm telling you, it is time for change. It's time to put Mark Robinson in the governor's office in North Carolina. One last question before we let you go, Mark.
Sure.
How do you feel with what's going on at the border right now? Not just the people that we've processed, but the gotaways that we don't even know about. I mean, it's really disturbing because we know something's coming. It's coming.
So let me give you my take on that here at the state level. So I've told everybody that I can that I believe that when President Trump is reelected, he's going to secure the border. And that's going to be a great thing. But here's the problem. For 4 years, it's not been secure. And any and everybody has come across. And we know that there are a great number of people who have come across for nefarious purposes. I believe here in the state of North Carolina, what we need to do is form a state security council made up of state troopers, made up of the SBI, made up of the National Guard, made up of sheriffs and police chiefs. And their number one mission right out of the gate needs to be to find those who have come to this country for nefarious purposes, detain those folks and either do one or two things: jail them if they've committed crimes in this country, or deport them back to their countries of origin. That is going to be a major issue for a long time to come, because there are folks here, I believe, in this country that are here for the wrong reasons and, quite frankly, for dangerous reasons.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more. That is exactly my stance on this. Hey, you want to do this? We'll deport you. Okay, you want to commit crimes here and hurt American people? We're going to deport you. If you come back, you're going straight to prison. And that's it. No negotiation. That's the law. And we need to have law and order in this country, or it's going to be the Wild West.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mark, thank you so much, brother, for coming on. We wish you nothing but the best with your race. And folks, again, go to Mark Robinson 4nc.com. You can also reach out to Mark on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but make sure that you get involved, and let's make a change, a necessary change, an immediate change for North Carolina now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Big news, America. Mike is bringing back the pillow offer for just $29.98. They're the softest pillows. They don't go flat. Wash them and dry them as many times as you like, and they still keep their shape. And they're made in America. Mike is offering his premium My Pillows at his lowest price ever. Queen size for $29.98, regularly $69.98. That's a $40 savings. And king size, only $5 more. Go to mypillow.com and enter the promo code INDIVISIBLE for my show, or call 1-800-716-4639 and give them the code INDIVISIBLE for my show, and you're going to get huge savings. Folks, we are back. A great show tonight. I want to thank Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson down in North Carolina for coming on the show. We were thrilled to have him, and it was a fantastic show. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless America. We will